Warning: under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purpose such as a criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statutes that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. All people are presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. I reserve my First Amendment rights to express myself. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Dishing Tea with D. So today it's going to be a long segment. So just kind of bear with me. We're going to kind of get updated. I know we're in the middle of talking about Jamal White yesterday when I had to leave off my live. So we're just going to kind of pick up from there, but we're also going to kind of catch up with the Texas flooding again, get another quick update on that, head on into the Jamal White case, and then we're going to look into there was a new another incident here in Texas. It was a love triangle. There was a shooting. Obviously, there was probably a little bit of domestic violence and things like that. So we're definitely going to get into that as well. So this is going to be a long segment. So just bear with me. If I miss anything, you can always catch it on the replay. But again, until the meantime, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And let's spread the word. Let's make sure that we keep our kids safe. We keep our community safe. We keep everybody safe. So again, so let's just kind of get into it. We're going to start with the weather. If I can figure out what tab it's under. It's probably hiding behind this one. Yeah, it is. So, okay. So this is Texas flooding update. So this is going to be show on stream. I don't want to be covering. Okay. Kind of full screen it. Oh yeah, that's much better. Okay. Where did it go? Let me minimize this one. I'll eventually get to you. Okay.
Swept through Texas. Heavy rain poured over parts of central Texas, dumping more than a month's worth of rain in some places. Here's what we know about how the disaster unfolded. On Thursday, July 3rd at 10:48 a.m., the National Weather Service Weather Prediction Center upgrades portions of south central Texas, including Kerr County and the surrounding areas, to a level 2 of 4 at risk for excessive rainfall. At 1:18 p.m., a flood watch is issued by the National Weather Service Austin-San Antonio office, including Kerr County and surrounding areas through Friday morning. 6:10 p.m., the Weather Prediction Center highlights the south central Texas region as an area of increasing concern for thunderstorms. Friday, July 4th at 1:14 a.m., a flash flood warning is issued by the National Weather Service for Bandera and Kerr counties and includes the considerable alert tag. At 3:35 a.m., the original flash flood warning is upgraded and includes more serious and specific wording. 4:03 a.m., the flash flood warning is upgraded to a flash flood emergency for south central Kerr County, and about 30 minutes later, the first reports of flash flooding start coming in from local officials. At 7 a.m., Kerr County, Texas begins to evacuate people near the Guadalupe River amid major flooding caused by 6 to 7 inches of rainfall. 3 hours later, the Kerr County Sheriff's Office confirms there have been, quote, multiple fatalities from catastrophic flooding.
This has been a very devastating and deadly flood. This far surpasses the 87 flood.
Heavy rain continues in parts of Texas, dumping more than a month's worth of rain for places like San Angelo. July 4th, a flash flood emergency remains in effect for south central Kerr County, which also warned of a particularly dangerous situation. Another flash flood emergency for the Guadalupe River from Center Point to Sisterdale, as well as to the north for the Llano River south of Mason, remains in effect as the extreme runoff from the heavy rain makes its way down the rivers.
We have 14 choppers, as I said, 12 drones, 9 rescue teams, swimmers in the water, rescuing adults and children out of trees. We have 400 to 500 people on the ground from all of our various units. For the parents who are waiting, particularly that had children in Camp Mystic. Camp Mystic is a camp that has over 750 kids. Right now there are 20-some that aren't accounted for.
At 10 p.m., at least 24 people were confirmed dead, according to the Kerr County Sheriff Larry Lata. Around 23 to 25 campers were still unaccounted for from Camp Mystic. On Saturday, July 5th at 3 a.m., a flash flood emergency is issued for northwestern Travis County and far eastern Burnett County around Lake Travis. At 7 a.m., the earlier flash flood emergency is expanded to include much of Burnett County and western parts of Williamson and Travis counties.
The hearts of our fellow Texans are breaking every single day because of what people of this community and the surrounding area are going through. There's nothing more important on our hearts and minds than the people of this community, especially those who are still lost. Texas is in this with the people in the Hill Country right here. We are not leaving until this job is finished.
In Kerrville, Texas, crews on the front line searching for the missing. This group is from Nuevo León, Mexico, here on tourist visas. In Kerrville, Texas, crews on the front line searching for the missing. This group is from Nuevo León, Mexico, here on tourist visas. He says they were ordered to stop searching to keep everyone safe after recent rain, the river too strong and dangerous with the rising waters. The number of people still missing dropping to 101 Monday from over 160, as more victims of the July 4th floods have been identified and the missing accounted for. Still, so many families left with unanswered questions. New evacuation details emerging from Camp Mystic. According to a family spokesperson, the executive director began getting campers to higher ground 45 minutes after the National Weather Service issued an alert about life-threatening flash flooding. They had no information that indicated the magnitude of what was coming, he said. They got a standard run-of-the-mill NWS warning that they've seen dozens of times before. The memorial for more than 100 victims growing every day.
We don't know how many we've lost. We've heard accounts of trailer after trailer after trailer being swept into the river with families in them. Can't find the trailers.
The county judge actually said they found a large gravel truck that was swept away by the floodwaters, buried 27 feet below the river's surface. Listen, hand crews, dive crews, they can only do so much, which is why the county is now bringing in high-tech equipment like sonar, and they're also planning to drain 2 nearby lakes to continue that search for the missing. Guys?
Oh my goodness, It continues. All right, Maria, our thanks to you.
So it's just horrible. New round of storms hit hard, hit Central Texas flood zones. So yeah, we also had it. I mean, it's just crazy. It's just continuing. The more it rains, the more. I mean, it's never going to retreat it stops raining for at least a good 2 weeks. You can see they're building memorials. They're putting up, their crosses. Um, Again, I mean, some of these waters rose to 35 feet, if not more, in certain areas. So it has just become a destruction here in Texas. I mean, you can just see the victims, the survivors, the rescuers. They're working countless hours to rescue as many people as they can, to save as many people as can, even if they're deceased, to bring them home so they can be buried peacefully. Um, it is just Let me take this one off. Um, let's go to this one. This is a little bit more recent. This is about 17 hours
Disaster in
ago.
Central Texas. Bad weather today hampered the search for the 101 people still missing.
The number of confirmed dead now stands at 134. Jason Allen has the latest now from Kerrville. Jason.
And the river keeps rising and falling, which with each one of those rainstorms you mentioned, each time making the water murkier again and adding to the difficulty of this long search. A memorial to the victims who have been found has been building here in downtown Kerrville. People have covered it in pictures of daughters and mothers and fathers who were lost, with notes and letters to them. Just a couple blocks away is where all of those victims are brought after they are found. A funeral home is serving as the central location for that work. A parking lot in the back has turned into an expanded morgue. Funeral director teams have been rotating in and out to help, and there has been a justice of the peace there as well to pronounce the death. This is where the difficult conversations have been happening with families more than 130 times now since this flood.
And Jason, you mentioned yesterday that it might take 6 months to complete the recovery. What has your reporting shown you today about just how painstaking that process is?
I had a conversation with a homeowner not far from us. The home and the yard were flooded. And after they cleared away all of the debris and the RVs, there was a victim found. But after that, search teams with dogs have noticed that there is still something or someone possibly there. They have been back 9 times to search now. The most recent last night, they haven't found anything and they've had to move on. That is just one property along miles of riverbank. That's the kind of searching that is happening.
Wow. Okay. Jason Allen, thank you so much from Kerrville.
A major storm swept across the Northeast overnight. Heavy rain caused flooding, blamed for 2 deaths in New Jersey.
Right here in New York City, we had near record rainfall, which is why Lonnie Quinn is joining us early tonight. So, Lonnie, why was this system different?
Okay, so it gave us our biggest rainfall rate that we've ever had outside of a tropical system. So that in and of itself, I mean, number 2 on the list behind any sort of hurricane or tropical storm. But you also have this steady flow of moisture coming in up and down the eastern seaboard. I'll get into that in just a minute, but I think the pictures can speak louder than the words. Look at this, all right? You're looking at Scotch Plains, New Jersey. That, Maurice, okay, that's a UPS truck floating backwards. Think about the weight that truck holds and how strong that water has to be. You see that rescue? They actually dropped that man into the water. He then gets pulled to the other side. We had water rescues throughout that area. This is New York City. You're looking at the subway stop, guys, at 28th Street in Chelsea. I mean, why did something like this happen in the subway when we picked up about 2.6 inches of rain yesterday? The problem was in 1 hour, the subway system, it's all sort of connected, believe it or not, to the sewer system. I know this is sort of an unsavory topic, but the sewer system in New York City can accommodate 1.75 inches of rain per hour. Last night it was falling at over 2 inches per hour. That is going to bubble up and it comes right out the grates in the subway system. You see what that picture looks like right there. A tough situation. We do see more rain brewing potentially for the area tomorrow.
10 seconds here.
So massive floods everywhere. So not just in Texas. It looks like there's New York. There's a couple, I think, in New Mexico. I mean, they've just been all over. So please keep everybody in your prayers and reach out to your local Goodwills and Red Crosses and things like that if you're looking to donate. Here locally in Texas, I know there's a few news stations that do have their website up, so you can go to their website and they have plenty of information out there for you to donate as well. Again, they're looking for non-perishable items. They're looking for, clothing, things like that. So definitely personal hygiene, personal products, um, things like that. So definitely, and if you're more than welcome, please sign up to volunteer if you can. Please go to the website and volunteer. It has been tragic. It has been taking a toll. We also had, if y'all are not aware, we did have the Philadelphia Eagles quarterback Jalen Hurts come down to his hometown, and will come back home to the state and help out. He helped out with the little kids, giving them a place to stay while if they lost their parents in the flood. He's helped out in tremendous other ways, paying costs for funeral expenses for certain families that have the inability to pay. He's just done so much great work. Along with HEB, they were one of the first ones to respond. Actually, the first ones to respond when it came to Kerrville. So we definitely want to show everybody's support, and I believe some local banks are collecting charity as well, collecting donations and things like that. So again, thank you for being here for Show TV. Again, thank you for showing some love. I have been by your channel and been in the bushes. So thank you again. It has been devastating here in Texas. There has been quite a few things that have been happening, not just between this, but the Carmelo Anthony situation with the stabbing of at the track meet. We had just recently, I think like 2 or 3 days ago, there was a love triangle shooting here in San Antonio. And then that the suspect who did the shooting ended up dead in custody. So it's just things are not happening like they're supposed to be happening. So we're gonna just continue on and cover as much as we can. I'm trying to just keep everybody updated. Um, so with these floodings, there has been a lot of mental health challenges. Don't forget, July is BIPOC Mental Health Awareness Month. So please keep that in mind. And don't forget, 988 is the national emergency number for the suicide helpline. So I'll say it because it is what it is. Um, again, the floods have been affecting the Texas mental health. So we want to keep that and keep them in our prayers as well, and make sure that they are mentally safe. We are going to go ahead and move on to the Jamal White story. I'm pretty sure everybody's heard about what's going on with the Jamal White. Um, it has been interesting. Hey, Temper, do you want to come up, Temper, and talk about the Jamal White story? Just let me know. I'm actually just starting to get into it. I know I started the first part of it yesterday and did the video on it, but I kind of wanted to. I did see a lot of interesting things happening once I started going that way too. I was surprised many others felt the way I felt about it. So we're definitely going to talk about that. Again, Jamal White is a 7-year-old boy that was kidnapped in Milwaukee and was found within 24 hours. He's currently, the last time I have checked, he's still he's in the care of CPS. Um, the uncle and I believe the dad is also in custody. So this is a really weird case. Again, that's kind of how I found out about it was through one of the just scrolling on Facebook and watching the reels, and came across another content creator that was passing along the message. So again, please share the messages when as much as possible. They don't take a lot of time. It's free and it is helpful. Um, that is how they were able to locate the child. Obviously very quickly. But so when I ended up showing the video, like the first thing that my husband had said was like, "Oh yeah, they were targeted. He was targeted, or his family was targeted." Yes, and so I'm not really from the streets or anything like that. I admit it. I admit it. I'm not. My mind doesn't work like that, unfortunately. So, but my husband, on the other hand, that was like the first. That's his lifestyle was different growing up. So, he obviously is more entailed to tell me what goes on behind the scenes when it comes to things like this. So he immediately, I showed him the picture of the child, in that white shirt and stuff like that. And his first thing was like, "Oh, well, who dresses their kid in those type of clothes?" He goes, "Tell me how much his clothes are wearing, or what he's wearing, how much his clothes are." And he goes, "I could tell you right now what exactly happened." And I was like, by his clothing. So there I am doing my little investigative work, knowing that this shirt was Montclair. So that was like a $230 shirt. I was like, oh, so you're kind of onto something, follow the money, right? Follow the money. And then once I did my research and realized like half of his clothing and all his pictures are at least a $500 outfit, if not more. And that chain too, along with that itself, was quite, you know, expensive, I'm sure. So, yes, it really is fishy. So I was like, okay, well, I kept on digging, and then that's when I was like, oh, well, apparently I'm not the only one. Well, I shouldn't say I was the only one. He kind of put that, planted that seed in my head. So I was like, obviously, coming across, I was like, did a little more research. I'm not the only one that thinks this. And obviously, for show TV, you're right along with it. He thought it, by the sounds of it, he thought it was fishy from the jump too. And then that's when that other video came out, that updated video where they were able to show the whole, almost everything that happened, from the car waiting there. I mean, like the car was planted, like sitting there waiting. Like, who does that? Who does that? And then this, okay, we'll get into it. We'll just show the video because, like, this is, so that's how I was able to catch it, was by the amount of money his clothes are. Like, I wouldn't like I told him, I was like, "Why would you dress your kid in expensive clothes when you're trying to, you would think you would want to stay under the radar, right? But you're going to put your kid in a $500 outfit. Let's put your kid at risk, right, don't we?" But that's kind of, why do I have? So we're going to kind of play this video. This kind of explains everything, kind of what's going on, not including, again, and this is, it's really weird. So we're just going to kind of watch this video and add, so you guys don't have to watch.
A new video tonight showing the moment someone kidnapped a Milwaukee boy at gunpoint, sparking a statewide Amber Alert over the weekend. He is safe tonight, but friends and family and police spent nearly 24 hours Friday into Saturday searching for 7-year-old Jamal White.
Jamal White's father has spoken out to defend his action in this new footage that has been released in the kidnapping of his 7-year-old son. Now, yesterday, there was a new angle that was released in the kidnapping of 7-year-old Jamal White, who was taken in broad daylight in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Now, there are still a lot of unanswered questions, like how a young boy could be.
Okay, I'm not really good with name brand clothing, but mom kind of looks dressed up too. I mean, she kind of matches son, but I'm assuming that's mom. But this is a 200. We already covered this. We pulled it up on the website. This is a $230 shirt for 8-year-olds, or size 8. You know, those shoes, their shoes, their flip flop sandals are another 200 and something dollars. I'm sure he has matching shorts because when he was wearing the khaki, we'll go through it. There's going to be, you know, what do you call it? They're going to show more pictures of him, and the one that he's in, like brown khaki, that's a Burberry outfit. That's another $300 shirt, $200 hat. Like, your kid is wearing probably more than what my monthly rent is. Like, ridiculous. But okay, we're gonna continue. I'm gonna
Kidnapped while his father was right there. Some people online are speculating that this new footage might show Jamal's uncle, who is his father's twin brother, being involved, but police haven't confirmed that. Now, listen closely to this news clip because you'll hear where Jamal's aunt speaks about what the family currently knows, and you'll also hear where Jamal White is currently at.
Right, Blake, a 25-year-old man is right now in custody here in connection to this abduction, but police tell me he did not act alone.
What would you say to somebody that hasn't tried therapy before?
Just ask yourself if what you're doing in your life right now is.
A terrifying abduction caught on camera. Someone sprinting with 7-year-old Jamal White in their arms, putting him into a white Jeep.
I'm glad he's okay, but it's kind of like, I still can't rest because who would do something like this to a 7-year-old?
This new video 12 News obtained Monday shows the Jeep parked on the side of the street Friday night. It starts to move as Jamal is spotted riding his bike on the sidewalk, returning from a nearby park. The boy's aunt says her brother was driving the sedan, following alongside his young son. The camera catching the white Jeep turning around.
So my thing is, the dad did not see this car turn around. Like, I don't understand. How did you not see the car just stop right in by you? If you were watching your kid, you didn't do a very good job keeping alert of your surroundings at all. At all. Like, maybe it's different for a female because we're so used to having to be aware of our surroundings. But, like, let's just keep on going.
Around, then later blocking the end of their driveway. 2 people got out of the Jeep simultaneously. One, who appears to be holding a gun, tried following the man into the house.
And again, you didn't see this car, like, literally park right behind you. Like, let's kind of rewind this because the dad did not get out until that one man started chasing after him. Like, how do you not? I don't. First of all, why are you not walking with your son? Why are you riding in the car? Why is your son not riding in the car with you? Yes, I get it. It looks like a nice little suburban little neighborhood. You're not where they found your child 7 miles away in that type of neighborhood. But then you don't dress your kid in for $500, $600, $700 outfits. But if you're gonna, there's a lot of questions. You don't have any protection. Whatever you guys put your child in this danger, and you're not protecting him at all. You're in a car. Obviously, something must have happened. You're like, what? What? And then you let your child run to the back. You don't even go and protect your child. Like, that was. Right, like, and then you run into the house, like, you did not run to go grab your child, you completely turned your back on your child as your son was still trying to get off his bike. You're already inside the house. What you call not paying due care attention. If attention to detail, like, okay, maybe I'm a little bit different because I was in military, so we are kind of trained to be a little bit more attentive and alert of our surroundings and area and pay attention to detail. I get it. But even as a mom or as a parent, like, your first reaction to go is go protect your baby, not go run inside the house, not go run and save your life. Like, I still don't understand that. Like, I'm dead serious. Like I said, there was not too long ago, there was remember I was telling y'all the story where that girl wanted me to make her famous because there was she got shot at with her child in the car and her husband and things like that. Like, it just didn't make sense. But literally, when I first heard that, my first initial reaction was go to my kids and make sure they get them down and make sure they're covered and stuff like that. It wasn't to go run and jump out of the window or the opposite way in any old way means. But again, not not everybody's different, I guess. Let's continue.
The other chased the little boy down the driveway. Seconds later, the suspect comes back into frame with Jamal in his arms, putting him into the Jeep.
Do you have answers as to why in the world this happened yet?
We don't have any answers, and I feel like that is what is bothering the family a lot. I feel like a lot of us are unsettled.
Unsettled as family is seen running out of the home. The boy's father spotted slamming his arms on the trunk of his car. That was about 7 p.m. Friday night. The state not issuing an Amber Alert until 5 hours later, around midnight. A boy in a home near 39th.
Okay, and another thing, why would they wait 5 hours before putting out an Amber Alert? Like, that was also another thing, that kind of question. Like, were they thinking that this was an inside job and that the parents knew who took the child or what? Like, I, you know, like, well, why take so long to like a child just got kidnapped? Like, I would think within the hour, no more than two, you should be having like some kind of Amber Alert going out. They waited 5 hours, close to midnight, for them to put out an Amber Alert. And they still have the child in CPS care. Like, why haven't they did their little questioning the child, who's who, what, and get him home to his parents, not having him to endure any more pain and suffering and psychologically, mentally, and physically, like what's something is really fishy. Something doesn't add up. The math ain't mathin'. I mean, yeah, or yeah, I really think that they thought somehow the family was involved and they were gonna like not need the Amber Alert, or they had some kind of inkling because it's like, um, well, welcome, Rainbow Tasha. We're talking about the Jamal White story, the little 7-year-old from Milwaukee that was kidnapped and found within 24 hours. It actually uncovered a lot of other things, I guess. I would say it uncovered more questions than answers. So this is kind of what we're kind of going over. Like, um, initially, what I was saying to begin with was, when I first saw the video, my husband, I didn't think anything of it. I just thought it was an not ordinary kidnapping, but a kidnapping, either from a stranger or family member or something like that, like typical kidnapping. But apparently, there's more to the story with the family itself. So we're just kind of digging into what really happened with this child. And again, he's still currently not with his parents. He's still with CPS and things like that. So there's a lot of questions that risen from this kidnapping that happened. So we're going to continue the video real quick.
Lloyd around 6 p.m. Saturday, 7 miles away from home.
We literally cannot thank the community enough, because I genuinely feel like if it wasn't for everybody just caring about this 7-year-old boy, we probably would not have found him.
Just a terrifying 24 hours. Hannah, police have yet to reveal a motive.
Right, Blake, and same goes for the relationship, if any, between these suspects and Jamal's family. That family does tell me that Jamal is right now with Child Protective Services as this investigation continues for police. They are hoping to reunite with him
So
soon.
you just heard in that news clip that police do have a 25-year-old suspect in custody for the kidnapping of 7-year-old Jamal White. However, they believe there are more people involved. You also heard that Jamal is currently in the care of Child Protective Services. He's not with his mother or father right now because of the circumstances surrounding this kidnapping, which are still under investigation. Now, once this news clip started circulating online, Jamal's father immediately faced backlash, and he has since responded. But before we get into that, if you haven't seen my video from yesterday, be sure to check it out. In that video, I covered that 3 men were arrested. Okay, now the news article reported that 3 men were arrested at the address connected to Jamal's kidnapping. Naturally, people assumed all three men were arrested as part of the kidnapping of 7-year-old Jamal White. But if you read the article closely, it actually says that one of the men arrested at the home is being held on tentative charges of resisting and obstructing, and another is being held on a tentative charge of second degree recklessly endangering safety. Both of these men are 27 years old. Now, people quickly jumped to the conclusion that these two were involved in the kidnapping. But here's where it gets interesting. One of the three men who were arrested turns out to be Jamal White's uncle, who is his father's twin brother. Now, exactly where Jamal's uncle was arrested is still unclear. Some people say he was inside the home. Others say he arrived at the scene when the family showed up. If you haven't checked out the video from yesterday, you can watch it because there's footage of the community activists going to the home and it shows the scene. Now, I uploaded that video yesterday. Now, police have still not cleared any of this up, but Jamal's white father did speak out. Okay, so this is taken directly from Jamal's white father, his social media account. Okay, so what he did first was he shared the mugshot of his twin brother. Now, keep in mind, this is public information, so I'm not showing anything that should not be shown on YouTube. He shared his twin brother's mugshot and he said, "Free top." So this was his post that he shared. Now, next,
4 Idaho college students were brutally stabbed to death.
That's the last thing you ever think's gonna happen.
he made a status, and what he stated was, "Y'all foul, painting them crazy narratives, even the police treating me like I'm the bad guy. As long as my baby's straight, all that ever mattered. I still ain't seen my baby face to face. The police locked me up all day Saturday, questioning me, even when I told them everything I knew, all while my baby was still missing. Free top. I don't owe nobody nothing but baby J." So he's referring to his son. He made this status immediately after he made the status saying free his brother. Now he followed that up, and now this was due to the scrutiny that he was getting. He was getting a lot of backlash after that new angle was released, because the angle is showing that he took off running. So what he said was, "Yeah, I did. I'm thinking they trying to rob me, not take my baby. Y'all slow. We both alive. And my baby tried to get away like I taught him. God had us the whole time. Obviously, I did right by my baby. I I did right, my baby's safe. Now, after this, he followed up with another status, and what he said was, first, I set it up. Then my brother kidnapped my son. Now I'm wrong for leaving my son. I know, messed up. Y'all ain't got to tell me my son good, though. Y'all wanted to paint every picture of me to be the bad guy. I can't win with y'all, but I won with my kid. Remember this, the internet. Now, after this, there were a lot of comments, and he started responding to some of the comments that people were leaving. So let's get into that. He replied to a comment about his brother, and he said, my brother locked up on a shooting, MF spinning the block multiple times with tents, and my baby just got kidnapped, and my granny stay there. You ain't see, I ain't have a weapon to protect my baby or myself, and we both survived. God planned, y'all all evil. Okay, so this was in regards to someone wanting to know why his brother was locked up. And according to him, this is the reason that he said, my brother's locked up on a shooting, people spinning the block multiple times with tent, and my baby just got kidnapped. So this is why he is saying that his brother is locked up.
Imagine being able to build anything just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44, a complete AI.
So then someone leaves a comment, and they just tell him, you were never in danger. If someone really wanted to harm you, they would have did it while he was running in the door. And they said, why would they want to babysit your kid for when they have you right there? Then he replies and he says, how would I know who is, really seeking to harm him? He said, the internet is mad because his son is here. And then he goes on, someone leaves a comment, and he replies to them, and he says, my baby is straight. You worried about me, worry about the baby. All y'all foul. He said, forget all y'all. Then he goes on and he leaves some other comment, and he says, forget y'all on bro. Free my brother, y'all wrong. And then he says, us surviving not enough, huh? Y'all wanted the dad to be unalived. Huh? Hell no. The daddy still get to see his baby. So this is how he responded to the backlash that he was receiving. Someone stated, it's the fact that even after they grabbed him, you ain't go after them. The car was right there for you to hop in. I'm not waiting on no police, and I just witnessed my son being kidnapped. And then from there, someone also left a comment and shared their perspective. They said, I'm glad you got your son back, but from one father to the next time this happens, you have to do anything that you need to do to protect your son. He said, we as men are these little ones' protectors in the best cases and the worst cases. I ain't bashing your decision, but this is an eye opener in all forms. Now, keep in mind, his family was also seeing these comments that were being left in the backlash, and they defended him. So this person here, you'll see, they stated that before, when Jamal White was reported to be kidnapped, they made a status and they said, if anyone see my nephew, please contact myself, his mama or daddy. Please, God, I am crying out to you. Then they made a status and they tagged Jamal's White, his dad, and what they stated was, we gonna ride this stuff out, baby brother. So this is his sister. Now, what his sister, she made a status and she said, everyone is talking about what they would have done if they were in that situation. And she said, it's crazy for her looking at all of the assumptions that is being made about her brother. And she wants everyone to refocus their time and effort on their situation and not her brother's. So his father also made a status. Now, the status that the father made, and you'll see here's a picture of him and his father. Well, him and his father with his brother when they were younger. Because again, he's a twin. Now, his father makes a status, and he made this post 2 days ago, but what his father said was, Milwaukee has a bad reputation, but get rid of it, because today I watched the whole city and beyond pray my grandson back into our family on both sides. Each person was a lit match. Combined, God saw all that lit all that light along with prayers all over the world because of tragedy. That light made God move, and I have my grandson to wrestle with again. People prevent pain when they are united. Then he goes on and he follows this post up and he says, I see my son asleep at 5 a.m. Thank God he got some rest. I go downstairs and I come back up, and the police got him that fast for questioning. My son comes home about an hour ago, rushing and packing. We hug and we have a short talk, and he says, Dad, they didn't feed me all day. Anyway, this man starts getting clothes and rushes to pick up the mother of his second child from her job. He says, I never had extra money to give my kids, so I gave them how to love your children and to handle your responsibilities as a man. He says he tells his son, he says, you got this and everything else. Peace, bro. So this was his father that was just trying to uplift him in light of everything else that was going on. Now, remember, there was the aunt who was on the news and she makes a post. Now, someone shares a status and what they said, someone makes a post and she reshares it. And what they say is unpopular opinion. You can say all day and night what you would have done in any situation you've never been in, but that's all irrelevant. That's only speculation after the fact. That stuff went down in a few seconds. Besides that, most of you men talking like superheroes probably never been on the opposite end. The video wasn't a good look, and I do feel for the child, but let's be honest. If two men blocked you in your driveway and hopped on you, you're not going to think about them coming to kidnap your child. You're probably going to think that they're trying to rob you and going to let your kid, run. You also could be running in the house to grab a weapon to protect yourself and your child. Now, his sister reshares this and she says, like, you couldn't have.
All right, so listen up. State Farm was trying to charge me $197 for car insurance. No thank you.
Worded it any better. To do that in broad daylight, they didn't care. I pray none of y'all ever really know the feeling.
Just me, granny said I live my life wrong. Then that bitch on the drugs, I can face it. Wrapped up in the couch, need to find a better placement. Hey, let me in your world, baby. Tell me when you ready. Aim me around when the blick, so I've been paranoid heavy. Grown man business when you stepping on that fatty. Think I'm locking in them bars, I might whip out a machete. 785, this bitch want the whole package. I'm just trying to catch my hands, got me gliding up in traffic. Bro, just pro gunners, HRT, I'm stabbing. 30 G's hard in the night I've been having. Plenty.
Don't it look like I got ribs on my arm? Right there?
Okay, so that is all the drama behind Jamal White and what's going on with the family and things like that. So again, they're over here saying, again, there were plenty of times. There were plenty of times that, okay, so let's just say yes, that you ran into your house, your kid was taken, and so you just come out of the house and do absolutely nothing. Like, you did not jump back in your car. You did not chase that car. Like, again, how did you not see that car turn around? That car was parked there. All of a sudden, it starts moving when you coming down the street. Once you pass them, it stops. It turns around. Like, how do you not see these movements? Like, okay, so obviously you're not Liam Nielsen or what's his name from Taken. Like, you're not that great. Okay, got it. But you pull into the driveway, you see two men coming out, one with the, you know, I have I guess armory, and You run inside the house. The other guy goes after your child. Your child gets taken. Okay. So what do we do next? Like, you literally just got out of the car. Like, I don't even think you shut the door to your car. Your butt did not just like, you stood there, you hit your car. You did not go run and chase the car. You did not jump in your car to follow it. Best believe I am going to be jumping, especially if I fought my way and you still were able to get to my child. Best believe I am going to jump in that car and I'm going to follow you and I'm going to do everything I can to get my child back. In the meantime, I'm having whoever that just realized all these other people coming out, running out, calling the police, letting them know the situation. Like, what? So you just sit there and just say, "Oh, let's just call 911. They just took my child." Like, you seemed more upset that it happened because of what? Like, it you didn't you were more you were PO'd. I don't know if you were PO'd because that the situation actually happened or that they did have your son or what. I really think there's a lot to the story. Again, now that I know he apparently is a rapper, he's and then even my husband was saying he's young. He gave him the benefit of the doubt. He's like, okay, well, if he's in his 30s or something, then maybe he could have a nice executive level job, or he had time to move up in rank, so he's making a certain a salary or something, and it's a decent amount, so yes, he could but then he heard his age and he's like, oh no, he's doing something, and he's doing something illegal. He's not going to say exactly what, because we don't know whether it's substance, whether it's armory, whether it's other things. So again, mom's there showing off her watch when she was in that little pink outfit. Like, the whole family is dressed. You saw the way the brothers were dressed in their little polo shirts. I'm telling you, follow the money. Follow the money. Follow the money. Obviously, their house, again, they were in a normal average suburb blue collar family house, trying to lay low. Things like that. There is another video. Let's go ahead and share this one. We'll just continue to go. Oh, no. Let me refresh. Hold on.
Boy taken from his home, sparking a statewide Amber Alert. Prosecutors say 27-year-old Jamal White fired several shots at a car driving slowly right near the family home at 61st and Eustis the day after 7-year-old Jamal White was abducted. Police found the little boy safe on Saturday. According to the criminal complaint, White told investigators he shot at the car because, quote, he was scared for his family and he hid the gun behind the house in a wooded area. A father and son in that car were not hit. They claim they were trying to help in the search for the missing boy.
You allegedly were shooting at this car that was occupied by two people and did not hit the car at all. At all. So even if you were defending yourself, you didn't even make contact with the people that you were supposed to be defending yourself from.
The commissioner set White's cash bond at $20,000.
Again, my husband says he'll get out, or looking at the, the just looking at them, they have the money to get out. Let me see. Where's my? Oops. Uh, okay, where is my? Okay, well, that's that. Okay, I can't find it, but yes, follow the money. Follow the money, definitely. Because there was another video I did have of the lady where she was saying that the neighborhood had absolutely no idea what was going on. they seen the father walk with the child a lot. So that's why I'm like, why wasn't the father walking this time? Or does it switch up? Does he walk or drive? Do they just see him randomly with his child? Um, a lot, like in different various ways, or is he always driving like that? Why were like that's there's a lot to the story. There's questions and things like that. But again, follow the money. That's the way I got started. And then lo and behold, everybody has their own opinions, their own, you know, narratives to how they think things are going down. But I really think just by looking at he rapper, whatever, he's a, you know, obviously they have weapons themselves, because we saw that the uncle was arrested for, you know, they're paranoid, you know, now that this has happened. Like, so I don't know what's going on, if they owed anybody money, or if, you know, they were in some kind of battle, beef battle, and like as rapping battle, if there was, you know. But again, it ultimately comes down to the safety of the child. You're putting your kid at risk. It, like, I don't understand why you're going to do the things that you do and expect these things not to happen. Like, regardless, there's more to the story. There's so much more to the story, and like, unfortunately, like, and also it's like the kid is still with CPS. Like, they're having to do their background check with this family. There's something with this family that they could not just say, "Hey, my child was kidnapped. He's back, and nothing's gonna." They're not gonna have any kind of repercussions to it. Like, okay, here's your child. She's back. Have a nice life. Like, they the government kept your child. Like, I don't know if that's why they waited 5 hours to put out an Amber Alert or what. I don't know if they were going through CPS, and then CPS is the one that filed the Amber Alert. There's a lot of like, how long did the parents take to call 911? Like, all these little fact things are factors into this case that are questionable. And I would question them, like, okay, so why did it take you 2 or 3 hours to call us? Or why didn't you go and chase after your child when you realized that he was taken? You physically had more of the opportunity to go and do everything you can to protect your child. You left your child out there. You let your child, like, was it this an insurance thing, or was it a scam? Were you just hoping the public will come in? You put up some gifts and GoFund, and people start donating. There's a lot of different things that are in question here that I have questions, and hopefully they'll have answers towards, you know, as the investigation goes. But this little poor child, whatever the case may be, if like I understand the family members are upset that, you know, people have, you know, these kinds of questions, and I'm sure people are not friendly in the way that they're putting them, or they're coming across to them as, you know, post online and things like that. But at the same time, ultimately, we're asking these questions because it is to protect this child. Like, why are we going to put a child back in y'all's care if y'all originally didn't take care of him? You know, I mean, yes, he's dressed in $500 clothing, but that's not what he needed. Apparently, y'all needed security. You could have spent $800 instead on his outfit for some security. And I'm not talking about the armory security. Like, you should have had a 6 foot, 500-pound man walking next to this child. That way, nobody was taking him. Just saying. Maybe Men in Black kind of style. I don't know. But again, I think this is a case where initially with me, I don't know about everybody. I know there's other people who are typically from that kind of neighborhoods and things like that. So that, you know, just like my husband, that, I mean, that's the first thing that pops into their head. So they were really quick on it. Again, I had to follow the money because that's the only way that I would. I'm like, okay, when it comes to it, money speaks volumes. Money speaks volumes. And then when you are a young, not saying that it is impossible, that we have plenty of young colored people who are successful, but when your child is wearing a fight, and you're, again, you should be in a gated community, not in the suburbs. If you're putting your child in $800 outfits and having to escort them to the park and back in a vehicle for whatever reason, and then I see, again, follow the money. It's either substance, armory, fraud or scamming, something, 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 something. Again, ultimately, it's probably going to be the root, the seed. The seed in the root is probably going to be money. That probably was the motive. If I mean, I'm sure the initial target wasn't the child because they went after the dad first. That dad got in that house so quick. I don't even think they would have chased that boy. I think if that first gentleman was able to get a hold of the dad, that second gentleman would have helped the first gentleman to drag that dad in the car. If the dad didn't go free willy nilly. So again, I wouldn't run away and leave my child out there. But again, it's one of those um, flight, flight or fight kind of thing. So again, until you're in that situation, I guess we will never know, right? All right. So, and then, yeah, I'm just going to stop right there on that. Let me just make sure I don't have any other. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, so we are going to go on to the HEB situation here in San Antonio. Again, a love triangle. Sad that it happened. This one, okay. So we're going to kind of go over stories. I want one that has video. Just nobody has video of the HEB. Okay, right here. So, so again, ex ex lover. So we're gonna kind of go into some of the articles, see what they say. Um, we'll just kind of read over some of the information. Again, this didn't happen too long ago. Um, it looks like the 14th or the 15th is when this happened. So about 2 days ago. Again, San Antonio, an arrest, David. So this is him. He's age 49, charged with capital murder. The shooting occurred just before 11 p.m., just outside an HEB located off of South New Braunfels Street Sunday night. Investigators said an argument broke out between the three individuals, escalating into gunfire. When San Antonio police arrived on the scene, they found both victims, Beatrice Guzman, 41, and Geronimo Elman Ramirez, 31, suffering from gunshot wounds. They were pronounced dead at the scene. Police have identified the suspect as 48-year-old Lorenzo Elman, who is believed to have been involved in a romantic relationship with Guzman and is the uncle of Elman Ramirez. Wait, so he was the uncle of the. Hold on. See, maybe I would misread this before because now it sounds like they were family members. She was messing with the family member. Okay. All right. Possibility, and it's is the uncle of Elman Ramirez and Geronimo Elman Ramirez. Okay. Investigators say Elman shot his nephew and ex-girlfriend in a fit of jealousy during. Okay, now it's starting to make sense. See, I wasn't no, for some reason I didn't think that they were related in any way. Okay, really guys, due to keep it in the family to a whole new level, apparently. Um yeah, let's go on to the next article because that's just cray cray. Well, yeah. Now, new information has come to light. Deadly love triangle shooting outside a San Antonio HEB. The Bexar County Medical Examiner's Office has confirmed the death of a 48-year-old Lorenzo Elman on Tuesday, July 15th. The inmate had been charged with capital murder of two persons, according to the Bexar County Sheriff's. So, remember, he's the one that just shot his ex-lover and his nephew. So now the person that they had arrested, the uncle, is now deceased under the custody care of Bexar County. So officials say that Elman was pronounced dead at approximately 5:43 p.m. on Tuesday. My SA has reached out to the San Antonio Police Department, the agency that the Bexar County Sheriff's Office deferred to for confirmation on whether the individual is the same suspect from the capital murder case that occurred on Sunday, July 13th. The sheriff's office did confirm that Elman had been booked on the same day. Jail records show Elman is the same person allegedly involved in the shooting outside the HEB. So again, they're making them do the work. They're not just going to flat out say, yes, that was him. At about 10:53 p.m. that night, SAPD responded to reports of a shooting at HEB located at the 4100 South North Brothels Avenue. Upon their arrival, the two victims, a 31-year-old male and a 41-year-old female with gunshot wounds, both were pronounced dead at the scene, and Bexar County Medical Examiner's Office has not confirmed the names of either individuals. Further investigating by SAPD revealed the two victims were involved in a love triangle with Elman, authorities said. The dead woman was the wife of the suspected shooter. Involved in a love triangle in the authority. The dead woman was the wife of the suspected shooter, according to the preliminary SAPD reports. At some point, the victims met at the location, and the suspect, in a fit of jealousy, shot the victims at the location as they were meeting. So, were they seeing each other, or were they just meeting? Because Elman fled the scene before he was arrested, police said. A cause and manner of death for Elman is awaiting confirmation from Bexar County medical examiners, as an autopsy has not been performed yet, officials said. The Castle Hills Police Department is investigating the in-custody death. So they're having an outsourced police department investigate the death then. Wow. So let's continue. Is this the one that I just seen? Okay. So police arrest man accused of killing two people in San Antonio. I think we just seen this one. But we'll go ahead and watch it again.
The man accused of killing two people at the HEB on South New Braunfels last night has been arrested. Police say 49-year-old Lorenzo Aleman drove to the HEB around 10 o'clock Sunday night and found his ex-partner and her new partner in the parking lot. That's when investigators say Aleman shot and killed both in the parking lot before driving away. Within 5 hours, police say witnesses helped identify Aleman. He was arrested at his house about 5 hours later. Aliman faces a charge of capital murder.
Oh my God. Jurassic World Rebirth is the
and today, Bear County.
Male inmate identified by ME's office as suspected arrested for double murder. Lorenzo Elman, 48, pronounced dead on Tuesday evening. So this just came out today, July 16th, 2025 at 5:04 a.m. It was published. It was just recently updated today at 12:08, which is a little less than 2 hours ago. So this is the most current information we have on this case. And again, it is a tragedy. Um, the Bexar County Medical Examiner's Office has identified a male inmate who died Tuesday at Bexar County Adult Detention Center. Lorenzo Elman, 48, was pronounced dead at approximately 5:43, according to the Bexar County Sheriff's Office. An email from Castle Hills Police Department, which was notified of the incident and other agencies often assist the Bexar County Jail with these types of investigations, said Elman, was alone in his cell when he was found unresponsive. Castle Hills police cited the jail's compliance with the Sandra Bland Act as reasoning for their involvement. Elman was charged with capital murder in connection with a shooting in the parking lot of a Southeast Side HEB, which left 2 people dead Sunday night. San Antonio police said an arrest warrant obtained by KSAT on Tuesday evening identified the victims as Beatriz Guzman, 41, and Geronimo Ramirez, 31. Guzman was Elman's girlfriend and Ramirez was Elman's nephew, according to the warrant. Elman's cause and manner of death are unknown and pending an autopsy, the ME's office said. According to KSAT, investigates count Elman is the 8th inmate to die at the Bexar County Jail this year. If you or someone you know is dealing with domestic violence, there is so much help for you. KSAT has a list of resources on its domestic violence webpage, which also explains how to identify different types of abuse. If it's an emergency, text or call 911. For wraparound services, including the Battered Women and Children Shelter, call Family Violence Prevention Services at 210-733-8810. You can also contact the Bexar County Family Justice Center, which also provides wraparound services at 210-631-0100. This is a developing story, and we'll continue to check back. So again, not only did not one problem rise like the domestic violence, but now we have to deal with the fact that inmates continuously die in San Antonio jails. in their in custody in San Antonio's custody, whether it's the sheriff's office, the local PD. Um, there's been obviously, like they said, multiple deaths already this year. And this type of stuff should not be happening in our jail facilities or prison facilities or any kind of facilities that are government based, regardless of what kind of people these are. So, again, please, we're going to kind of go over some information about domestic violence. Kind of, again, bring you back some information. Um, we'll go ahead. Actually, we'll start off with some of the mental health awareness stuff first, since this is July is BIPOC Mental Awareness Month. So we're just kind of going to get into that and then feed into the domestic violence to finish up this case. So, and then don't worry, I believe somebody did ask me about the education Supreme Court U.S. Decision on it. I am looking into that. I am researching that. So I will eventually put out some information. So I think Trump just kind of discussed it yesterday. So when I move my hand like this, you can see what's on my TV. That's hilarious. I didn't know that. Okay. Anyway, sidetrack. Sorry. So I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna share this article. We're gonna try to read, kind of skim through it, and then that way we can get to all the other stuff as much as possible. Come on, share. Okay. So this is from UTA.edu Academic Schools College of Social Work. This is School of Social Work. Again, it's BIPOC. July is BIPOC Health Awareness Month, um, which is Black, Indigenous people of color. That's what that means if y'all weren't aware. This July, mental health advocates across the country are observing BIPOC Mental Health Awareness Month, a time to address the ongoing disparities Black, Indigenous, and other people of color face when it comes to emotional well-being, access to care, and trust in mental health systems. For Dr. Kelly Rogers, Assistant Professor of Practice at the University of Texas at Arlington School of Social Work, the mental health conversation must begin with the systems that shape people's daily lives. Systemic inequality isn't just a barrier, it's a burden Black and Brown communities have been carrying for generations, she said. These injustices don't shape don't just shape our environment, they take root in our minds, our bodies, and our everyday lives. Roger points to underfunded schools, limited access to quality healthcare, economic instability, and overrepresentation in the child welfare and criminal justice systems as compounding factors that weigh heavily on the mental health of marginalized communities. Rogers also knows the stigma that often comes with mental health challenges in communities of color. After the birth of her daughter, she silently struggled with postpartum depression. I knew what was happening, she said, but I was raised to believe that strength meant endurance, that prayer was the answer, and that naming my pain was somehow giving up or giving in. Despite her education and training as a mental health professional, she hesitated to seek help. That experience, she said, reflects the reality many others face. If I struggle to speak up with all my access and awareness, imagine that imagine what it's like for someone who doesn't have the language or support. Kiva Harper, Associate Professor of Practice at UTA, shares that concern. With more than 2 decades of experience in clinical and community practice, Harper said many BIPOC clients don't see themselves reflected in the systems meant to support them, and that disconnect fuels mistrust. Culture competence suggests that you've mastered understanding someone's identity, Harper said, but cultural humility means you're always learning. It means showing up with curiosity, respect, and a willingness to listen deeply. Harper said providers must consider the historical and cultural context that shapes a person's experience especially when diagnosing and treating mental illness. We often ask, "What's wrong with you?" instead of "What happened to you?" That shift is essential. It moves us from blame to understanding. Both professors agree that more culturally responsive care starts with acknowledging bias in traditional practices. Rogers noted that Black teens are disproportionately labeled with oppositional defiant disorder, while Latino families are often misunderstood for their collectivist values. We need to stop pathologizing pathologizing survival, Harper said. We need providers who understand that not every expression of emotion, grief, or behavior fits into a Western framework, and that's okay. Representation is key to building trust, Rogers said, and that goes beyond race or ethnicity. So, as you can tell, it our culture really affects our mental health. Um, Is that even in the thing it says we need more Black and brown providers, absolutely, Harper said, but we also need every clinician to take responsibility for understanding their clients' cultural realities. Awareness without action is empty, Rogers said. Our communities deserve spaces that honor our stories and recognize our humanity. Social workers understand systems, we understand people, and we have an ethical responsibility to make sure both work better for everyone. Our communities deserve to be seen, heard, and healed, not someday, but now. So, again, um, um, how different race can affect or cultural affect different races. For Asian American and Pacific Islanders community, Asian American and Native Hawaiian Pacific Islander communities face unique challenge related to mental health. The Black Indigenous people of color, the intersection of cultural tradition and systematic disparities profoundly shapes the mental health experience of BIPOC communities. Hispanic and Latin. Texas has the third largest Hispanic and Latino population by percentage in the country. Addressing the mental health of Texans must take the unique culture and social perspectives of this population into consideration. Um, Veterans, this sizable community in Texas faces unique mental health challenges as they reintegrate into civilian life, including returning to jobs, communities, homes, and families. So, of course, there is something for everybody: older adults, the LGBT, migrant, um, so the disabled. So there's a bunch. Hey. Um, So we're going to kind of get into the statistics. Again, I think we went over this before, but with this new case that happened here in San Antonio again with the HEB, with the love triangle, again, it was a family dispute. It was nephew, uncle, and the ex-wife, current girlfriend. Again, still, if there was any kind of, there hasn't, they didn't suggest, but they did put in information for domestic violence. So again, it's not too sure if there was any kind of previous domestic violence, but one can never be too safe or too positive. So, with that said, we're going to kind of go over the statistics. Again, we really need to bring awareness to this topic. Abuse is abuse, regardless if it's domestic, if it's sexual, mental, physical, anything like that. So what is domestic violence? So domestic violence is the real full intimidation, physical assault, battery, sexual assault, and or other abusive behavior as part of a systemic pattern of power and control perpetrated by one intimate partner against another. It includes physical violence, sexual violence, threats, economic and emotional psychological abuse. The frequency and severity of domestic violence varies dramatically. So, again, this is for Texas statistics. And we've got to remember, Texas is always one of the top ones for any kind of thing, whether it's road rage, child abductions, missing, kidnapping, children being left in cars, deaths to children being left in hot cars. Like, we are one of the, for some reason, Texas is one of the most highest states in crime for some reason. So again, 1 in 3 Texans will experience domestic violence in their lifetime. So just imagine, know out of 2 other people, one of y'all will be experience domestic violence if y'all haven't already. So more than likely, if you pull out 2 of your friends, one of y'all have already probably experienced it. Girls and young women between the ages of 16 and 24 experience the highest rate of intimate partner violence, almost triple the national average. A recent meta Hold on, I'll be back, guys. So again, girls and young women between the ages of 16 and 24 experience the highest rates of intimate partner violence, almost triple the national average. Again, Texas is always one of the highest in some type of awareness month. When we did elderly abuse, we're one of the highest. When we did missing children, we're one of the highest. When we're doing domestic violence, we're one of the highest. When we did the children being um, passing away, being left in hot cars, we're one of the highest. So Texas is one of the highest for a lot of these things. A recent meta-analysis has shown that domestic violence incidents increased 8.1% after jurisdictions imposed pandemic-related lockdown orders, kind of like how COVID did. Protective orders are as much as 80% effective in reducing future violence. So depending on the situation, 80% of the time, if you get protective orders, they usually stop that violence, but the other 20%, not so much, which means they're not at all effective and can lead to further violence. So, what is stalking? Stalking includes repeated unwanted contacts or behaviors that cause the victim to experience fear or substantial emotional distress, or would cause a reasonable person to experience fear or substantial emotional distress. Not only is stalking often an indicator or other forms of violence, it has been linked to femicide, the murder of women and girls. So, 1 in 4 women and 1 in 13 men reported being a victim of stalking in their lifetime. So can you imagine? These are just the ones that are being reported. There are so many that go without being reported. Again, so 76% of women murdered by an intimate partner were stalked first, while 85% of the women who survived murder attempts were stalked. What is sexual violence? Sexual violence is an umbrella that term that includes any sexual behaviors or sexual acts that are committed against a person's will. Sexual violence can affect people of all genders throughout their lives and can be perpetrated by strangers or people who are known to the victim slash survivor. More than 1 in 3 women And more than 1 in 4 men in the United States have experienced um, having sex against their will, physical violence, and or stalking by an intimate partner in their lifetime. So again, that's 1 in 3 women and 1 in 4 men. That is a lot. So again, like there's like more than 4 people in your family. So someone in your family will experience some type of sexual violence. 33% of sexual assaults are committed by current or former intimate partner. What is a human transporting? Human transporting, also known as transporting in persons, is a crime that involves compelling or coercing a person to provide labor or services or to engage in commercial sex acts. The coercion can be subtle or overt, physical or psychological. Exploitation of a minor for commercial sex is human transporting, regardless of whether any form of force, fraud, or coercion was used. Nearly 1 in 3 human trafficking victims are recruited by a family member or caregiver, so it's always somebody they know. That's 1 in 3. So, yeah. Again, look at the people in your household, see how many people you have, and one of those, more than likely, another one of your family members may introduce them to this. Texas has the second highest reported number of human transporting cases in the country. Let's open this up and see what it brings us to. We are currently receiving a lot of calls, and it may take, okay. So these are the national, oh, okay. Oh, got it. Okay. It took us to the national. But again, um, Texas is a very complex state, should I say. Um, there's a lot of things that we do here in Texas that I don't agree with. So I can't really say. And then I always don't like to get into the political aspects because, frankly, like it's political, and you're not going to win in any way, shape, or form. I don't. I'm not. I'm not a no. Not getting into the political. I just, you know, of course, see things for both sides and find a more peaceful way of doing things. But so again, I don't always agree with red and blue. I'm purple, which is probably why I love purple so much. Purple is one of my favorite colors. So remember, just one of my favorite colors. So again, this is kind of all I had for you guys. We went over the Texas flooding. We talked about Jamal White, another sad situation there, another involving children, involving a child. Again, we had this horrific situation with the love triangle where two people are deceased due to I guess a domestic violence issue, ex lover and things like that with the new lover, and then ended up being a bigger tragedy where the suspect in that quarrel ended up passing away in custody. So not only do we have problems with our police department keeping our criminals safe, like um, we got to keep our community safe. So again, if you know anybody who is experiencing, let me pull it up. Again, let me share this. Help is available. You want to dial 988. That is the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. Again, they're available 24 hours. If you are locally, please contact again 911 and get to the nearest hospital as soon as possible. Again, with that other story we had, if you like with the child, the one that was in the park. Um, Again, please, if you know anybody who confides in you, please don't hang up on them. Don't try to talk them into coming over. You go to them, and or you try to figure out a way to get them to you while you are on the phone. Please get help for them while you have them on the phone. Um, these things are so sad and they're tragedy, and please refer them to professionals. Um, I get it. We're not professionals. We're just family members to loved ones that are going through difficult times. So we're not always the best ones to handle that. So please, please, if you know anybody who is in danger, contact 911 or call 988. Um, so again, there's just so much going on. I'm going through my head right now. Um, Let me take this off. So again, if you would like, I have my event coming up this Saturday. We're having a little fundraiser to help raise funds so that way we can help people like in this situation that are domestically abused, are being sexually abused, are also being mentally abused. Again, we cater to all people, all abusive people, men, women, children, elders. We do not veterans. This is all considered abuse, anything like that, please reach out. Go to the link. If you're needing immediate assistance, please contact 911 or contact 988. If you are needing long term assistance or short term assistance as far as residents finding places to stay or resources and things like that, please reach out to me. Um, Go to the link down below, streamlabs.com, Dish and Tea with D. Um, There is a spot there for you to email. Just email me. Again, put in the subject either like SOS 911 to catch my attention. I do get a lot of emails on a daily basis. Um, I continuously have to like create new emails just so, but to eliminate all the scamming emails, but they just come in so much. And so we're just again go to that website, email me. You can also donate financially. We're needing financially help to support and place these people who are needing to get away from these types of situations. That way they don't occur. We are trying to save as many lives from women, children, men, and adults, elderlies, even the disability people, the disabled people. Also, we just got to take care of everybody. Again, if you want to donate financially, and not having to worry about the email and stuff like that, just go to the QR code that goes straight to the PayPal. You can just donate there. 5, 10, 15, $1, I don't care. Anything helps. So even if you want to donate $1, if we just get 100 people to donate $1, that's $100. We can get 2 nights. We can get somebody 2 nights somewhere of safety. Again, I'm also a travel advisor, so I'm able to work out certain types of deals at certain locations and things like that. So that way we can continue to provide them as much safety as long as possible as we can. I am trying to pull in all my resources and networking together to try to complete this whole action. But again, it's the funding that we're having issues with. So we are again, my event's gonna be July 19th to raise some funding. If you want to help out, you can go to the QR code right at the top. If you want to support the channel, please like, subscribe, share. Also, you can donate to the channel as well. Just put Dish and Tea with D or Vivid Lifestyles, whichever way you want to go. Again, we do have our Vivid Lifestyle store up on the website. Just go to the merch store and purchase your merch from there, and help support the abused. We will I am going to be currently working on the Dish and Tea with D product, so that way we can support the channel like that. Because eventually funds will run out, personal funds will run out, and I won't be able to always bring y'all the news or any updates or any kind of information y'all are looking for. So definitely support the channel as well as much as possible. So all these things do unfortunately cost. However you can help, whether it's spread the words, share, like, subscribe, get as many people. Again, I am not monetized on YouTube yet. Um, I'm still a long way from it. I only have 50 plus subscribers on here. So once we hit 500, I need 500 to go monetize. So again, let's spread, let's have family members come in and subscribe. And then if not, also Rainbow Tasha, if you're still here, um, if you want, if you go to the link down below, you can you should be able to have access to my other platforms like X and Facebook. I continuously share and repost things on there throughout the day when I am not on here covering stories. That way you can also stay up to date on some of the stuff throughout the day as well. Um, so you can do that as well. So I'm again on Twitch as well. If you want to raid my channel, go ahead. I'll be happy. But again, just we got to share, we got to stop the abuse, we got to stop the violence, we got to stop um, monopolizing everything. Again, money is the root of all evil, and it is making our country very corrupt. Um, Other than that, I am pretty much done for today. I will be back again. Like I said, I'm working on that education and the decision to that education situation going on. Again, I know Trump just spoke about that. So again, everybody enjoy y'all's day. Y'all stay safe. I would try to keep up on the weather updates and things like that. Try to bring y'all as much information. So y'all don't forget, if y'all want to donate to the floods, please go to your local charities. They're willing to help. Your local grocery store, your local banks. Go to the news stations. There's plenty of resources out there for you to donate. Please sign up to volunteer. They're needing rebuilders. They're needing people to help rebuild. There's a lot of homes that are needing people who are families who are out of homes, and they need their homes rebuilt. Um, so you can only imagine if everything was gone. Again, thank y'all for being here and sharing y'all's time with me. I always greatly appreciate it. For Show TV, Temper, Rainbow Tasha. I'm not sure. Let me go back to the chat to see who else was here. I think that was. I think that's pretty much it. So again, thank y'all for being here. Y'all stay safe. Have a beautiful day, and don't forget, pinkies up.